Hi, Alan Stratton from Woodturning. Well, the Christmas Ornament Challenge is over for this year. We'll see you again next year for some more fun with the Christmas ornaments. Meanwhile, there's a lot of inspiration from the past one. For example, one that caught my eye looked like a sleigh bell. Denis submitted his. Another viewer asked me how he made his. Well, I don't know for sure, but based on the picture, I think he hollowed it from the back side and then cut his openings and put the center marble or wood that he put from the back, and then I couldn't see it, but I think he did a patch. But whenever possible, I like to hollow through big holes rather than small holes. So I decided to make mine with a bead around the outside, and so that I could hide a joint here, and I could hollow this way and hollow that way and rejoin them. There's a lot of options. How would you make yours? Let's turn this one. After failing once because I did not plan ahead, this time I made a plan. I am starting with a cylinder with a mounting tenon on one end. Now I need to trim the right end and cut another tenon before parting it approximately in half. I am leaving the top section mounted to the lathe. Now to hollow it. I am starting with a spindle gouge. In end grain, this cuts nicely, almost peeling the wood away as I cut from the center outward. Since my wall will be about 1/4 inch thick, I need to be careful not to overdo the hollowing. I made a 2-inch template to guide the interior hollowing. Once I get close, I switch to a round nose scraper to finish off the hollow. Since no one will ever see the interior, I am not going to sand the inside. Now to drill a 1/2 inch hole through the top for the top finial handle. Then finish off the hollowing since there is no center bump to deal with. Off camera, I drilled a 2 1/4 inch hole about 1/8 inch deep. The bottom portion is mounted to the chuck. After trimming the center nub and a bit of hollowing with the spindle gouge, I'm drilling a 1/4 inch hole for the center. Then the cut, try process to fit a tenon to the mortise in the top portion. Then finish hollowing. With a hole in the center, hollowing is easier. Now I have mounted the top portion with an expansion mount using that shallow mortise in the top. Following my plan, I mark key points on the surface from an adapted octagon method. It has been adapted for the extra wood in the middle for a bead and joint. Then move to the bottom to reduce it to a tenon the size of the octagon side. Then reduce the diameter of the cylinder to 2.5 inches up to the corner of the octagon. Then the 45-degree octagon side. Finally, reduce the remainder down to the target 2.5 inches. I now finish the hemisphere solely by eye. I cannot use the sanding techniques to perfect this hemisphere. I'll save the sanding for this one later. In case you're wondering why I didn't hollow it first place, it's because I needed wood for the bead. A momentary remount of the bottom portion to cut a shallow mortise on the inside that I forgot earlier. Now to flip the bottom around to work the outside. This is similar to the top side, following the adapted octagon plan. Cut the bottom down to the tenon sized to the octagon side, reduce the diameter from the bottom to the corner to 2.5 inches, cut the 45-degree octagon side, reduce the diameter down to 2.5 inches, finally round it off by eye. I decided to use the bandsaw to cut the two intersecting cuts. This birch would be tough to saw by hand. Keeping the wood in the chuck stabilized the piece while I cut it. With this setup, I'm safe, but fear for the wood. It is getting thin and fragile at this point. Following this, I sand the grooves by hand and the exteriors on the lathe and apply shellac friction polish. I decided that a fancy finial would detract from the Sleighbell. However, I do need something so that I can hang it on a tree. In retrospect, I'm not sure I needed a finial at all, but I will keep it extremely simple. Starting with a small cylinder of walnut, a skew will reduce the wood in the tenon area. Then my sharpened end wrenches to size the tenon to 1/2 inch. Since they can leave the tenon oversized, I have to check it, then shape the right size. Then sand and apply shellac. Then flip it over and mount to a chuck to finish the top side. I remembered to drill a hole for the wire hanger. Then sand and finish the top side. The last task is to assemble the pieces. A little CA glue will hold the wire hanger in place, then wood glue to join the body together after matching the grain. But make sure I put the marble inside. Then a little more wood glue for the tiny finial. I like my Sleighbell. I'm not sure how Denis made his. I will appreciate his critique. This one needed some planning. Not everything can be turned on the fly. How would you make one for yourself? As for the Christmas Ornament Challenge, we will see you again next year. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe on my website, and tell your friends about my videos. I appreciate your comments and questions. Every week I add a new wood-turning video to my website. Always, please wear your full face shield. That's for safety anytime the lathe is running. It is your last line of defense, as it was mine years ago. I will see you next week with another wood-turning video. Season's greetings to all.